Welcome to the Women's Business Workshop Podcast, episode 108. If we haven't met yet, I'm Robin Walker, a small business advisor in the Midwest who loves talking business, eating cheese curds, and living the crazy life of an entrepreneur. I help business owners like yourself strategically plan for business growth so you can feel more organized and clear on the next steps for your business. Today, we're talking about limited mindset, specifically about how who you surround yourself with can either elevate or dampen your belief in what is possible for you. Not just what is possible, but what is possible for you. We will be talking about the impacts it has on your business, the reasons some people feel deflating to talk business with, what you can say in response, and also what changes you can make to create an environment that's healthy for your business owner mindset. I want to start by saying it's incredibly common to experience some kind of limiting beliefs as a business owner. In some ways, it may have helped keep you safe when you first started out. It may have stopped you from making some kind of outrageous decision or purchase before you knew what you know now. But even though it's common, rarely does it help us grow or reach potential. Usually it's the opposite. We know this as business owners, yet we don't see when it's happening to ourselves. I can say this as someone that helps business owners with it every day, but still finds myself struggling with it when I get to my next level. Recently, I have been optimizing some processes for our Impact Business Circle Mastermind behind the scenes. This is the business owner program that I've been leading for over 7 years. The group is a privilege to lead, and I am proud of the business successes that have resulted from Impact. However, I want to keep improving and elevating the experience. I had 2 pivotal conversations recently that changed the trajectory of my plan. Before those conversations, I was working solo on these improvements based on what I saw the members wanting, things I thought they needed that maybe they didn't realize they wanted, and also just using my business education on how I've learned to best serve. I had pages of notes, solid improvements. Then I had 2 meetings with business peers that happened to have had some membership experience in my group, and it changed the game. Their encouragement, their input, their past business experience elevated the vision and practical value for this program. They both offered real-world experience that raised the bar for what I thought was possible and shared some competitive industry examples that I wasn't even aware of. Had I only worked in isolation, I would have been seriously limiting what I could offer and the transformation that my clients would experience in the future. This next iteration that now I can take to my coach will be even better positioned for success, not just for myself, but for my clients, for everyone. These conversations were not at networking events. They were not with randoms. They weren't with family members. They were with other entrepreneurs that truly knew my business, had been inside my business, and who knows who I am as a business owner. Unfortunately, too many times, entrepreneurs will get advice from just about anyone that will listen, especially if you are in your earlier days. And I understand why. It's hard to do everything on your own. In your last job, you probably had someone you could go to within the organization that could help you with ideas, give you some structure, give you input. But now, if you're planning in isolation, you don't have anyone to bounce ideas off of. You don't have anyone to get advice from, and it can be lonely, and it can lead to a lot of overthinking, over-researching, second-guessing your decisions. You want to know if you're doing everything right. I totally get it. The problem is that not only do these people not know how to run a business, but often their limiting beliefs rub off on you. Do you ever notice that when you're around certain people, you second guess yourself or your business more often? There may be people around you that are not wired to be an entrepreneur. They don't understand why you would take these risks. And the uncertainty of your situation makes them uncomfortable. We know they mean well, hopefully. I'm going to share with you some reasons about why these conversations may be leaving you discouraged and why these people that you might be asking for input from may actually not be good and be deflating your positive beliefs and the beliefs in what you can do. So number one, they're not an entrepreneur. We all know this crazy life of entrepreneurship is not like anything else we have ever done. The ups, the downs, the pressure, the decisions that are on our shoulders constantly, not being able to turn it off as easily as when it was a 9-to-5 job. They haven't experienced that, or they're not experiencing it in this environment. So they don't really understand. Asking business advice from people who aren't business owners or have never run a successful business. Obviously, that's going to be problematic. The second one is if you're talking to someone who your success directly affects them. This could be a family member, a parent, a spouse. Somehow, if you fail at this, it's going to directly affect them. That's a lot on them, so they're going to be less risk averse probably than you would be, or someone else who's an entrepreneur and understands these are investments you have to make. They don't get it. And on top of it, if you don't succeed, it's going to negatively affect them in some way. There is validity to this. And of course, your partner wants you to succeed. But sometimes their limiting beliefs are going to rub off on you because they matter to you so much. The other thing is they may be scared for you. Even if it doesn't affect them, they may just worry about you and worry about you being able to pay your bills and do fun things and be able to support yourself. So they may have a fear around it that's a good intention. But if you're not fearful for the same things, it may introduce new fears for you that you weren't afraid of in the past. Another one is they're not your ideal client. And I think this is huge for when you're asking people about your pricing or your offers, or they're giving you suggestions about that. If they're not your ideal client, you really don't need to know their opinion. A lot of your friends and family, unfortunately to say, are not going to want to pay your full prices, nor would they value it because they don't see you in that light. And this is really a hard thing for a lot of entrepreneurs. And we've had this conversation in our mastermind group many times, is that our family and friends sometimes are the least supportive as far as when it comes to purchasing from us, sharing about our business to other people. I've shared on this podcast before how I had a good friend when I was first going to do my business conference said, "You're going to do that?" I said, "Yes, I'm hosting this. This is my next big project." And they said, "But who are you doing it for?" And I said, "It's me. I'm doing it." And they said, "No, but I mean, like what company is doing it that you're doing it for?" And it was really deflating. I was so excited about this event. I was so confident in my experience and what I had to offer that someone close to me, who I did value her opinion, really made me feel crummy about the potential I had and the experience that I had to be able to run an event successfully. She probably didn't even realize it. It was over 10 years ago, but I use it as an example because I've been in your shoes and I get it. That sometimes for some reason it's family and friends that are the worst for our limiting beliefs. And I hope that's not the case for you. I really do. I think the longer we're in business and the longer we prove our success and that, yes, we really are doing this thing and we know what we're doing, the more on board they get. So remember, if they're not your ideal client, don't ask them how much they would pay for something. And really those conversations should be happening in context with your business plan and your business goals and your profitability. That should not just be an off conversation in a networking event. Now, with some people, I wish this wasn't a thing, but sometimes there are people that are jealous Maybe they have a dream that they haven't been brave enough to go for, or maybe their circumstances limit their threshold for that kind of risk. That's a real thing as well. But sometimes you may be giving them a glimpse into their unrealized potential. This should be inspiring for people, but for some people, it shows up as resentment and they try to place doubt about it. But it's really a reflection of them, not of you or your ability. A lot of the people you're talking to, they don't see what you see. They don't hear your clients' successes. They are not on your calls. They are not in your office or in your studio and seeing the transformation that your clients are getting. They don't know your training. They don't know your background. They were not in class with you. They weren't at your graduation for your degrees and your certifications. So they don't know. They don't know your ability. They don't know your qualifications. They know you as so-and-so's mom or someone from the chamber that we happen to be in a networking group together. How do you know what's possible for you? How do you know what is realistic when you're planning, when you're unsure about something and maybe you're feeling a little unsure about yourself, whether you've told people this or not, but you're kind of getting that feeling of, oh, yikes, I'm at this new level. I'm charging this new amount. I have this new offer. How do you really know what is possible for you? So even discussing the word realistic, it's hard to gauge because if you're comparing your pricing, your offering, what is possible, what your quote unquote industry will pay, what your area will pay, if you're basing that on, let's say you're a physical therapist and you are basing this on what all the other physical therapists in your region are charging or offering, if you're basing it on that, what if they are suffering from limiting mindset? What if they are selling themselves short? And you're going to base your business, your livelihood, your profitability on what everyone else is doing? Yes, we need comparative analysis and we need to see how we stand out in our marketplace. All of that is valid. But stop and think about if you are letting other people determine your potential and what is realistic. I'm sure you can think of a lot of businesses that no one thought would make it. I mean, look at the concept behind Netflix or Snapchat, the Snuggie. Yet someone was brave enough to go for it and figure out a way to reach crazy heights with a unique business. And a lot of you, your businesses are unique because of you, but you're not trying to make the Snuggie. So what's making you think that your big dream or goal is not realistic? The problem is some of you aren't even realizing the level you could go to, so it's not even on your business vision. And there's a much better way to be doing business, or a bigger way, or a way that you make more money with less work, or it's more satisfying to you, but it's not even on your horizon because you have been playing too small because of the people around you. So how to know what's possible? In the impact group that I mentioned earlier, our conversations are potential based. They are future focused. They're based on data, not on fear. So if you notice that difference based on what some of the people around you are giving you advice based on fear, not based on data, based on your past, the conversation needs to change. And that has to do with who's in the room with you. We don't want you to doubt yourself. The women in the group want you to fly. They want you to break all the records, crash through the ceiling that you've created for yourself in the past. You need to be surrounded by people that give you examples of success, remind you of your wisdom and your value, and inspire you by what they are doing in their businesses. And not from afar, not from a webinar, but from within the same room. Listening to an encouraging podcast or video, even like this one, is always helpful, but it's not the same as a human being, someone speaking uniquely to you on an ongoing basis about your potential. So who is speaking into your specific business lately? Who are you letting in? Who has earned the right to affect your belief in what is possible for you? So let me say that again. Who are you letting affect your belief in what is possible for you? This is not about never being challenged or never be given advice. This is about who gets to do this. Who gets to challenge you? Who gets to give you advice? And how are they qualified to do this? And are they doing it in a caring and encouraging way? I do not take my position and influence in our group lightly. I research, I learn, and I listen. I strive to give women more stability, more financial security, and the freedom to make their own choices by owning a business. I want you to have choice and a voice in your life. Your business and success matter to me. So here's some suggestions moving forward. If you find that this is happening to you, or you suspect that maybe you are limiting yourself or the people around you are not helping to lift you up, here's some suggestions. Refrain from asking advice from people that don't know your business strategically, do not have entrepreneur experience, or are not forward-thinking people. If they haven't seen your business plan, they probably should not be giving you business advice. When someone like this asks, "How is your business going?" And by the way, they're probably not looking for a huge deep dive. Share the good stuff. Their instinct is usually just they want to know about you. They are interested in what you have going on. But if you share or ask advice at that point, most kind people are going to try to help you. They're going to give you advice, whether they're qualified or not. They mean well. So instead, share about the good stuff that's happening in your business right now. Share about how they can support you. Maybe that's with a referral or helping to get the word out. Here's some examples. How is your business going? Well, sometimes it's challenging, but I love being a business owner. Or, business is great. Thank you for asking. End. Period. Things are good. If you want to support me, I'd love a referral if you hear of someone that needs XYZ. Great. I just broke my record for monthly sales. I love what I do. I just got to help a woman XYZ. When limiting beliefs are pushed on you, change the subject or say, "I appreciate your intent, but I'm confident in my ability to do this. I am always open to encouragement, though." Make a mental note when you feel your business confidence dampening in a conversation. Reflect on what was said and why it may feel defeating. And I'll be honest, there's a whole nother conversation about limiting beliefs that come from ourselves. And that can be another episode. Today we're just talking about what's feeding into you from the outside. So sometimes it's important to stop and reflect. What did they say and why did that bother me so much? That's a really healthy thing as a business owner. We all know business ownership is just constant self-analysis and self-work. But you can reframe the situation with an affirmation and a positive thought for yourself. You have been doing this too long, my friend. You are too qualified to be limiting your growth. You have important things to do and people who need your help. So get in the right room so you can realize your true potential. If you're ready to step away from the negative and you want to surround yourself with what's possible instead, let's talk about how our group can help support your mindset and your bottom line. It's an easy first step to click through the link in the show notes for more information, womensbusinessworkshop.com/impact, or click the link to set up a quick call and see how we can help you with your business. I look forward to cheering you on. Now go get back to work.